What's good, YouTube? What's good? Back for another afternoon drive, or basically just me and my partner and our thoughts, things we come across during everyday life. We just like to discuss them with y'all. Hopefully, it's something thought provoking. But be that as it may, we're going to get right to it. First of all, if there's anybody out there who's listening, like and subscribe, get active in the comments, as my boy Israel Light will say. We greatly appreciate it. Any feedback is good feedback as far as I'm concerned. I promise. I'm not petty. I won't get mad. I won't block your comments, do that dumb stuff. But what I wanted to touch on today was that, so I was going about my day earlier. I ran some errands, and I did some things for my mother. And one thing that came up in conversation was parenting and how people view it differently, and how a lot of parents, we have to question if they are truly parenting for the kid or are they parenting for themselves. Now, some of you might be a little confused by that, but throughout the course of the conversation with my mother today, she brought up some good points. Not to brag, but everybody loves their parents. But my mom, she's a pretty wise woman, and I love her dearly. Um, One of the things she brought up was, you always have the parents who, I guess, try to express their love by giving them everything, giving their children everything they didn't have. And while well intentioned, one has to wonder, does that really, really, really benefit your child in the long run? Some people will say, hey, that's just, you being jealous, or, you don't understand. That's how some people show their love. But one of the things that I would say about that is that, hey, at what cost does that come? Is it a trade-off to have your child dressed to the nines every day, have all the latest video games, all the materialistic things in the world, but you're not able to spare 30 to 45 minutes a night to help them with their homework? You're not able to keep up with what's going on in their lives, whether it be school or social, causing you to miss things that you might be able to correct. I understand that we live in a world where, quite frankly, image is a big deal to a lot of people. And I would be lying if I didn't say that it didn't have an effect on my life. I'm not a public figure per se. And I promise you, I'm not anything special. Or at least I don't look at myself as such. I'm just me. And I've made many mistakes in my life, and I've been wrong about a lot of things. And I couldn't imagine if I only had to deal with negativity coming from, being a public persona. And I question what effect, I say that, but what I really mean is social media. Like, I wonder what effect that has on our generation as parents, because everything is under the microscope. Everything is there to be criticized. At what point do you draw the line and say, hey, I don't care what people think about me. I don't care what people think about my child. I'm going to do what's best for them, and to hell with who likes it or not. I often see a lot of parents, they will argue about, hey, the child needs this, the child needs that, you know? Maybe they do, maybe they don't. But what are you placing at the top of the totem pole? What is a priority? Child needs love. Child needs nourishment. Child needs attention. Some people argue that's love, but I beg to differ. I can make a great argument that love and attention are two different things. I've seen too many cases where a child has done something horribly, done something horrible, or has done something horrible to someone else. And you'll see the parents on the news, and it's always, he was a good kid. My baby would never. Or you see a neighbor of the child, somebody who lives in the kid's neighborhood. Oh, he was such a nice kid. It never caused any problems. I guess my purpose of this rant is just to say this. It's all right to give your children material things, but make sure that comes with the love and attention necessary to produce a good human being. I remember, gosh, I'm gonna show my age, but this was at least 15 years ago. And I was at an outlet mall, and I was shopping for my job. And I was in the line at a shoe store, and there was a young lady on the phone, and she had a child beside her. Couldn't have been no more than 8 or 9. And she was fussing with somebody on the phone, complaining about how this is BS. My kid is walking around here with goddamn Skechers on. I remember that verbatim. She said, my kid is walking around here with goddamn Skechers on. And the way she said it. Now, granted, I don't know the context of the conversation. I was just sensing the anger in her voice and the surrounding conversation, to the point I heard someone yelling on the other end of the phone. Couldn't make out what they were saying, but they were talking loud enough to the point they were yelling. And I could hear them very, very clearly. Couldn't make out what they were saying, but I was definitely hearing them. Let me word it that way. And it made me think. It was like, is brand new Skechers that bad? Is this what we're prioritizing? Am I wrong? If I'm wrong, please correct me. I just don't understand why we place a premium on things that in the next year or two won't mean a damn thing. So, with that being said, I'm going to end it with that. Have you ever had a friend or family member raise their children in a manner in which you felt like they were just doing it more for the admiration of others, as opposed to for the actual benefit of the child? Because all the name brand stuff, all the jewelry, the new shoes and all that, that's great for someone to say, that's how they do it in the Black community a lot of times. They go, looking good, you know, that's great. But does that add value to that child's life? Are you teaching him that, hey, in order to have these things, you have to work hard? What lessons are you giving him or her with these things? With the new shoes, with the clothes, with the nice this and the nice that? Or are you just giving it to him because you know that's your baby? Or are you just giving it to him because my baby ain't gonna be walking around here looking all crazy, as I've heard so many parents say? So just food for thought. Appreciate y'all listening to me for this, what, 11 minutes now. Don't forget, like and subscribe, leave a comment. I think I'm right, but if I'm wrong, tell me. Be blessed.